Reptilian invests a huge shield blocking the incoming Earthquake. The opponent then pivots out into Altaria with 2 Protect Shields, 2 hide behind. And we are full sending the Sludge Wave. Does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the channel. Finally, this god-awful season is almost over. We're in the final few days and we have the exciting new move update dropped. I'm super hyped for Shadow Typhlosion with Thunder Punch. Let me tell you, that thing is going to be a monster. Well, that's for next season. So let's get into today's video. We've got a triple reptile theme team from the very appropriately named Reptilian. All 3 of these Pokemon are pretty spicy, with the exception of Salazzle, and if you're named Callum on Toast, of course. We're triple weak to Psychic, we are triple weak to Ground. However, theme teams always have a way to get the job done. So without any further ado, let's get into the battle. And in game 1, a Reptilian leads Reptile number 1 into the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death. A pretty neutral matchup. Poison Jab tearing through Talonflame. The opponent builds up some energy and switch out into the cheeky little monkey Vigoroth. Vigoroth instantly greeted with the Poison Fang, which doesn't do too much damage, but does come with a 100% chance to lower the opponent's defense. We see Serviper tank the Body Slam, not particularly well to be honest. We do save Serviper as a potential third shield. We then switch out into Arbok, look for the Dragon Tail farm down, but Vigoroth refuses to die as always and spams out yet another Body Slam. Back out comes Talonflame. Reptilian didn't throw at the best time in 3 turn into 5 turn. Ideally we should have thrown 1 extra. You always want to throw 3. That would only give the opponent 1 free turn. The opponent fires off the fly, securing the knockout. Reptilian has now set up his third reptile. The Lizard Salazzle, a 2-to-1 shield advantage. The opponent not wanting to give us any free farm. Switch out instantly into Charger Bug, a running spark. And ironically, this thing is just complete free farm. We fully incinerate farm down. Leave doubled up on charge moves. Back out comes Talonflame. The first Poison Fang forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. I've got no idea why the opponent's throwing, as of course we're going to shield this move up. We shield up the fly, return fire with the Dragon Pulse, and it's going to be hi Talonflame, bye Talonflame, GG's, and thanks for playing. Reptilian's Reptiles are off to a 1-0 start. In the next battle, we see a pretty dreadful lead. The Shadow UFO. Its steel typing means these poison jabs are double resisted. Reptilian looks to call the bait. The opponent does try that master baiting, but Reptilian's like, nah, not today, trainer. We then throw 1 poison jab and the crunch, which should force the shield. Holy crap, I was not expecting the no shield. Reptilian says, thank you very much, and we snipe with an Incinerate. That was a very nice play, although we've seen a ground type come onto the battlefield, and we are triple weak to ground. Reptilian farms up to the Dragon Pulse, tries his luck at baiting, and the opponent calls it. To be honest, that isn't the worst situation to be in, especially when we correctly shield up the dig. As now these Incinerators are going to start tearing through Gligar again, the opponent reluctant to shield a Poison Fan. They recognise they're going to get farmed down and switch out into Incineroar. Incineroar also about to get the debuff treatment. Again, the opponent's not shielding. Trainer, what are you saving these shields for? Reptilian then sends out Arbok, looking to use it as the damage sponge. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting Arbok to tank that blast burn, but apparently this Slake is pretty ticked. The opponent does manage to wing attack farm down Arbok. We've still got 2 Pokemon remaining, and that trainer did their very best. Jamie Finn 1-4, 1-5 impersonation and lost with 2 shields. In the next battle, we see a Psychic type in the lead. Just what you want to see when you got triple poison. We build up to the crunch bait with the Poison Fang. Again, we're looking to call the bait. The opponent full send a Future Sight, and oof, we get 1 shot. Reptilian now sends out Arbok. The opponent probably thinking, why are you sending out yet another poison type out? The opponent then bait us with a Grass Knot like a savage and then send out Charizard. Charizard is going to be greeted with the Dark Pulse, which the opponent shields. They then throw on alignment. So if this is just a Dragon Claw, we're going to survive, and that Dragon Tail is going to register. The opponent does Dragon Claw bait. Again, Arbok hangs on, reaches the next Dark Pulse, and Arbok's bulk's actually quite impressing me. We force the final Protect Shield and send out Salazzle. Salazzle looking to shield the Blast Burn. Yes, it's resisted, but Salazzle cannot tank a hit for shit. We then are able to get the full resisted Incinerate farm down. The opponent sends out Annihilate, then pivot out into Cresselia. And to be honest, we're going to take that as we want this thing off the battlefield. Dragon Pulse does secure the knockup back out. Comes Annihilate. We're able to reach the next Dragon Pulse on the CMP type. Is this enough to knock out? Let's go, baby. Get that Annihilate out of here. What a win. Reptilian pulling off a very impressive victory. In the next battle, we see Galvantula in the lead. The opponent safe switches into Dragonair, and my god, do we want Salazzle on that pesky spider. Again, the opponent shows no respect with a Shadow Dragonair. Some very strange shielding decisions so far. Magnezone essentially shields everything, and Dragonair user just as bad. This opponent actually running a full shadow team, something that I'm usually shoutcasting. However, I'm on the other side of it, which is quite strange to be honest. Swampert looking for the full mud shot, farm down, no, which they get. We have no way to soak this energy whatsoever. Reptilian does have 2 protect shields, 2 hard behind, and we're going to need to pull off some shenanigans. The opponent instant throws, giving us a full free incinerate with shield at the first hydro cannon. Swampert fires off the next hydro cannon. I imagine we just instantly switch and look to soak. We spam the switch. We don't manage to snipe, and back out comes Galvantula. Okay, is this winnable? Okay, we force the final protect shield, which does give us a win con. The win con would be tanking this charge move, although that does do 82%, so I'm unsure we'd be able to do that. We'd need to incinerate, farm down, and obviously then win CMP against Swampert, as we have a higher attack, but I think that is very, very unlikely. Heading into the next battle. Great lead, although to be honest, the entire team is going to do very, very well into any grass type we might come across. The opponent stays in, we fire off the Poison Fang. This flying banana tree, very, very thick, able to withstand the damage. The opponent returns fire with the Leaf Blade, which is resisted, and Serviper gets a very nice poison jab farm down. Out comes Wish Daddy Cash, and we see yet another ground type. Although we are able to reach the Crunch. Crunch goes unshielded, we then see the pivot into Arbok. Best case scenario is that the opponent just looks to stay in. Again, Arbok showing very respectable bulk, able to tank a Mud Bomb. Reptilian going to invest his first Protect Shield, blocking up the next Mud Bomb. We then throw 1 Dragon Tail and the Dark Pulse for optimal fast move timing. Dark Pulse does secure the knockout, and the ground type is relieved from the battlefield. The opponent's final Pokemon is yet another Galvantula, and this pesky spider is about to get cooked. As this spider isn't a shadow, unlike the last, we can tank a discharge. We do invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming lunge bait, but no bait will be saving this opponent's fate. We fire off the Poison Fang, the opponent recognises the game's over and concede the match. In the next battle, we see Greninja in the lead, their super spammy frog. Again, we look to call the Night Slash bait. The opponent does indeed throw the Night Slash, and that actually did a lot more damage than I was expecting. Unlike Arbok, this snake, not the bulkiest, we fire off the Poison Fang, forcing a Protect Shield and giving the opponent that debuff treatment. We see Reptilian say, Serviper, you've done your job, buddy. Thank you very much. And we send out Arbok. Arbok looks for the Dragon Tail farm down. We're unable to get it before the opponent potentially reaches the departing Hydro Cannon. We correctly shield at the Hydro Cannon. The opponent then sends out the Kentucky Fried Chicken, Bird of Death, and this time Reptilian does go for the correct 3 Dragon Tails and the Dark Pulse, only giving the opponent 1 free turn. Dark Pulse went unshielded. We then see the pivot into Salazzle. It looked like Reptilian was thinking of calling the bait. We correctly shielded the fly. We're able to incinerate farm all the way down. We leave with a lot of residual energy, and whatever the opponent had in the back clearly wasn't a fan of us, and they concede the match. In the next battle, we see Greedent in the lead. Greedent isn't a ground type, but they are running Mud Shot. This fat little squirrel is the king of body slam spam. It only takes him 4 Mud Shots to each. We tank the first, return fire with the Poison Fang. Reptilian then farms up and looks to catch the next body slam onto our bulkier of the 2 snakes, Arbok. You really can see the difference in bulk between the 2 snakes there. Arbok tanked that really easily. The opponent then sends out Jellicent. They go straight for a Surf, and again, Reptilian putting faith in Arbok's bulk. We're able to withstand the Surf, reach the Dark Pulse. This doesn't get same type attack bonus, but should land for some heavy damage, which it does. We then send back out Serviper. Serviper looks for the Poison Jab farm down, which we're unable to get. We're putting it all on Salazzle to clean up. Out comes Salazzle. I've got no idea why we took 2 bubbles there, as 1 Incinerate did knock out, so essentially we got 1 turn bring in, which does deplete us of some more HP. Back out comes Greedent. We fire off the Poison Fang, forcing the final protection, and out comes Mantine. I think we're in danger of getting quick attack down here. We fire off the Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. The opponent actually throw a charge move. I would have just committed to the quick move beatdown if I was the opponent, but that's just me, because every time the opponent throws a charge move like that, they're giving away 3 turns. Reptilian shields up the next Aerial Ace, returns fire with the Poison Fang. Poison Fang will be lethal, but can we incinerate, farm down that squirrel? Back out comes the squirrel, and of course they've got a charge move bank, because whenever you think Greedent's energy dry, it's not. It's always got a body slam banked, and the opponent picks up the dub. In the next battle, we see the absolute dream lead. The opponent safe switches into Steelix, and I think this is a problem. Although we do have a fire type, the opponent is doing even more damage to us with the neutral Dragon Tails compared to our super effective Incinerate. It's just how stat distribution works. If you're on a glass cannon, you're essentially at a huge disadvantage. You see Reptilian just looking to continually debuff this Steel Snake and shield through it. We're going to actually 2-shield that Incinerate. Will be knocking out. However, we are now all shields down and the opponent still has 1 to hide behind. The opponent sends out Polyrath again. Not particularly bad for us, as we do all resist counter on this team. As Poison does resist fighting, the opponent does manage to counter farm down. We send out Arbok. We've already seen Arbok's pretty bulky, so Scold isn't going to secure the knockout. If I was Reptilian, I'd be spamming the switch, anticipating the opponent bringing back out Ninetales, which they do. We respond with Serviper. Serviper goes straight for the Poison Fang, which will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We've seen Serviper isn't that bulky. Can we survive the Weather Ball? Weather Ball gets us low. It looks like we're looking for the Poison Jab farm down. We actually managed to simul KO back out. Comes Arbok. Arbok able to withstand the counter damage, reach the Dark Pulse, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's. Heading into the next battle. We see another Shadow UFO in the lead. I'm calling this one's definitely shielding. They might even full send. Let's see. Looks like Reptilian again, looking to call the bait. The opponent does bait again. Do they respect the damage? There is no shot to Magna Zones. Look to call a bait on us. What do I know? The opponent again calls the bait. We snipe with the Incinerate and it's like deja vu. This is almost certainly the same team we saw earlier in the video. I think Paul Asher, who won one of the regionals, got really high on the leaderboards with this team. However, the issue is what you're going to see here is you can't just copy and paste the YouTuber team and try and get success. The opponent's fast move timing, absolutely dreadful. They should have thrown 2 wing attacks, then the charge move. For optimal timing, as they instant through, they give us a free Incinerate. This time, the opponent does throw out much better timing. And just for clarity, I don't think Paul Asher makes YouTube content, but one of the YouTubers, maybe like Zonic or someone, did feature the team. The opponent's final Pokemon is Mandibuzz. We debuff them with the Poison Fang, bank a Poison Fang for the road, and then send out Arbok. Mandibuzz, the Flying Vulture, hits a bit like a wet noodle, so we should survive 2, and we should reach a Sludge Wave. Although it's going to be close, to be honest. We might get a Snarl Farm down before we get there. Reptilian thinks better of reaching for the Sludge Wave, settles for the Dark Pulse. This is resisted damage, but they have got a lower defense. The Vulture hangs on. We manage to simul KO. We've got a Poison Fang banked, and even resisted. That should be enough to knock out. We actually opt not to throw it. Playing it risky, we Poison Jab farm down and take that game. In the next battle, we see Swampert in the lead. How do we beat Swampert? We're able to tank a Hydro Cannon and reach a Crunch, which is pretty good, I suppose, although I really don't know how we're going to get through this. We force a shield and then send out Arbok. Again, we're unwilling to shield. We tank the Hydro Cannon reasonably well, but the super spammy Swampert is going to be able to outpace us to yet another Hydro Cannon before we reach a charge move. Reptilian shields at the Hydro Cannon, returns fire with the Dark Pulse. Trainer, please let this go. The opponent does let go of Swampert and then send out Vic. Vic going to get a very nice Magical Leaf farm down, but our Lizard is lurking. Out comes the Lizard. A single resisted Sludge Bomb would probably do quite a lot. We look to call the Leaf Blade bait. What a call. There is literally no reason to bait there. The only logical thing I can think of is perhaps they had Acid Spray. But again, I think Magical Leaf Acid Spray is not the moveset you're looking for. The opponent's final Pokemon is Alolan Ninetales, and Salazzle is on cleanup duty. Get wrecked, Charmer. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Charger Bug, or Charger Bus, as some people like to call it. I was having a discussion in my Discord, saying, what the hell is this thing? LedsenKatt told me it's a 9-volt battery, and now I've seen it, I can't unsee it. You can see Serviper very attack weighted, able to win CMP. The opponent fires off the Crunch, which we withstand. With a lower defense, we look for the Poison Jab farm down. Unfortunately, unable to get it. So we save Serviper and pivot into Arbok, using it as always as the damage sponge. The opponent lets us have a very nice Dragon Tail farm down and then send out Umbreon. Annoyingly, the 9-volt battery did get the defense shot, so Arbok might not actually be able to tank a move from Umbreon, despite it hitting like a wet noodle, and that is so rough. Foul play does secure the knockout. Salazzle now faces a very tough task of trying a 1v2, essentially 2 full health Pokemon. Reptilian burns the first Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming foul play. We then throw 1 Incinerate and the Poison Fang for optimal fast move timing, only giving away 1 free turn. Poison Fang, to my surprise, forced a Protect Shield. We then see Reptilian wait a turn and make a very nice catch, catching onto the low health Serviper. Back out comes Salazzle again, 1 Incinerate and the Poison Fang. We really need this to knock out or force the final shield ideally. Of course Umbreon survives, because Umbreon just refuses to die. We're now forced to burn the final Protect Shield. The opponent's final Pokemon is Charizard, and I think this is just GG's. I highly doubt we survive a Dragon Claw. The first Poison Fang does force the shield. The opponent doesn't throw. They commit to the Blast Burn. I'll be honest, I think that's definitely Dragon Claw range. Bear with me and I'm going to look that up on PV Poke. So if you're wondering just how glassy Salazzle is, a non-stab Dragon Claw from a Shadow Charizard actually does 50%. The opponent hard through that, but we're going to take that. In the next battle, Nightmare lead. Not only is it Swampert, it's Shadow Swampert. So you can see even the Mud Shots, which of course doesn't really do much damage usually, is really adding up. We force a Protect Shield with the Poison Fang bait, and then look to soak on Arbok. This could potentially be an Earthquake, not the Earthquake, such a low health Serviper. We manage to catch the Hydro Cannon, and then draw out Dugong. We're able to reach the Dark Pulse on the CMP tie. Dark Pulse, to my surprise, forces the final shield. Dugong very bulky. I don't know why they shielded that, but that definitely helps us. We've now got shield advantage Salazzle. Out comes Salazzle. We know the opponent has a Hydro Cannon bank, so I agree with this no shield call. Please bait trainer. They throw the drill on, and we are going to take a heartbreaking loss. In the next battle, we see Gramble in the lead. Fantastic for us. The opponent save switches into Pidgeot. Pidgeot going to instantly fall victim of the debuff treatment with the incoming Poison Fang. Poison Fang goes unshielded. We see the instant no shield deployed. I definitely agree with this play, because even if the opponent full send the Brave Bird, which of course would knock us out, we really don't care, as we don't need switch. We actually bank a Poison Fang snipe with Arbok. Very nice gameplay IQ on display today from Reptilian with this triple reptile theme team. Arbok draws out Cresselia. We're able to reach the Dark Pulse, which does quite a lot of damage. The opponent needs a Future Sight to secure the knockout. The opponent fire off the Moonblast trainer. That isn't going to get the job done. And if they Grass Knot here, we'll actually survive that as well. Grass Knot leaves us on a sliver of HP. The Snake able to reach one more Dark Pulse, forcing a Protect Shield. We then pivot into Salazzle. The opponent sends back out Gramble and concede the match. Very, very well played. In the next battle, we see the very oppressive Shadow Dragonite. Serviper getting torn apart by these Dragon Breaths. Holy, 12 Dragon Breaths get us below half HP. We fire off the Poison Fang, forcing a protection into the aggressive pivot into Arbok. Just 2 Dragon Tails, almost depleted Dragonite of its remaining HP, and out comes Skarmory. Skarmory instantly greeted with the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse does some solid chip damage, but the opponent very easily tanks it. Then overfarm before firing off what's likely a Sky Attack. Sky Attack does secure the knockout. Reptilian lightly sends out Salazzle. Looks for the one shield and farm down. Skarmory able to reach the charge move. They probably throw a Brave Bird, looking to give us minimal farm. The opponent fires off the Sky Attack. The Incinerate still knocks him out. We then see a very nice play, catching the Dragon Claw back onto Serviper. Dragon Claw does secure the knockout. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down. Send out Magnezone. Blink, and you might miss this one. Magnezone not going to appreciate this Incinerate damage. They shield up the Poison Fang. Of course we're going to shield up whatever they throw. The Incinerate will be knocking them out. Can we Incinerate farm down Dragonite? Yes, we can. And Salazzle sweeps the back line. In the next battle, we see yet another ground type, and this one really is the bulkiest of them all. We go straight for the Poison Fang. I'm not really sure on that players. I don't think there was ever shielding. I guess we're just looking to try and debuff or do something. It looks like we're completely sacking Serviper. Earthquake going to be massive overkill. And we now send out Arbok. I guess with a lower defense, these Dragon Tails will start chunking further. Reptilian correctly shields up the Earthquake. The opponent then sends out Altaria Trainer. That is not the switch you're looking for. And we're full sending the Sludge Wave. Does the opponent respect the damage? Sludge Wave near one shot. Oh, unfortunately, Altaria does reach a departing move. It looks like we're going all in on Arbok. The opponent now has a 2-0 shield advantage. We send out Salazzle. Salazzle completely deletes the Bomber Snow. Holy cow. Back out comes the 2-shielded Clodsire, and we're just looking to debuff this thing. Poison Fang does force the Protect Shield. We're able to reach one more Poison Fang. If the opponent's counting, they never shield this. However, the opponent evidently is a potato. They shield a Poison Fang, and we don't even have the energy for anything else. Can Reptilian capitalise on the opponent's mistake? We send back out Arbok. Arbok able to reach the Dark Pulse, and that's how you beat a ground type. Essentially, capitalise on the opponent being a potato. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the mighty Shadow Zapdos in the lead. Zapdos not appreciating this poison jab damage whatsoever. We're going to see Reptilian shield up the incoming Drill Peck and return fire with the Poison Fang. I saw a counter animation, so I'm not sure what they caught that on. A very nice catch. Catch and resisted Poison Fang onto Annihilate, and out comes Arbok. The opponent builds up to a potential Shadow Ball. Oh, what Gahona's on display today. This is only a Night Slash, and we should now be able to Dragon Tail farm down. Although it's going to be close. We've got hardly any HP. The opponent gets the boost. We still farm down. And we're YOLOing the Sludge Wave at the return in Zapdos. Of course, Sludge Wave will be massive overkill if it goes unshielded, which it does. And the opponent's final Pokemon is Dragonair. A 2-shielded Dragonair is still going to be quite a problem for us. We send out Salazzle. Salazzle is going to be able to outpace to the Poison Fang, which will force the first shield and obviously give them a permanent debuff as they've got nothing to reset it. The opponent opt to dump energy. Can we win this game? I don't think we're going to appreciate this Shadow Dragon Breath damage. We're getting absolutely torn apart. We fire off the next Poison Fang, which will be lowering the opponent's defense. Can we now Poison Jab farm down? Let's go, Serviper. Oof, Dragonair hold strong, and we take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see the Dream Lead. Unfortunately, grass types are kind of pushed out the meta this season. Next season, they might be more prevalent, especially Trevenant, as Trevenant has got a huge buff. The opponent continued to stay in, so they must have something else that doesn't want to see a poison type. And my god, are they going to be sad when we show them triple poison. The opponent sends out Dragonair. Serviper able to reach the Poison Fang, which not only likely forces a shield, but gives the opponent the very annoying debuff effect. Although this Dragonair isn't switch locked, so imagine when we send out Arbok, the opponent pivots. Trainer, why are you not switching? The opponent gonna fire off the body slam. The opponent lets us fully Dragon Tail farm and down. And oh, hello, Trainer, a fairy. That's why he didn't switch. We show him Salazzle, and the opponent is going to concede the match. The opponent really should have switched out in that mid-game regardless, as Arbok might be a poison type, but we're using non-stab Dragon Tail, which Alolan Ninetales would have double resisted. In the next battle, we see Mantine in the lead. We force the opponent to switch out, firing off the Poison Fang, and out comes Mandibuzz. Throughout today's showcase, we've seen just how glassy Serviper is. But even though the opponent's on the hard-hitting Dark Pulse, which does do more damage than a potential foul play, we're able to hang on, and we're not really in danger of getting Snarl farm down. The opponent looks for the Snarl farm down, and Serviper able to reach one more Poison Fang. To be honest, even with a 2-stage lowered defense, that still didn't do too much, as Mandibuzz is just so bloody bulky. Reptilian saves Serviper as a potential third shield and sends out Arbok to operate as the damage sponge, which we do very easily, especially because the opponent opts to throw aerial asses at us. Back out comes Mantine. The opponent plays the CMP tile. They do not win. Shout out Home Size Henry for that quote. Dark Pulse forces the Protect shield. We've got 2 shields. We may as well shield here. Salazzle doesn't really fancy this work of Mantine. The opponent actually full send a Water Pulse. Arbok has put Mantine in a range where Salazzle can handle it. Again, the opponent full sends a Water Pulse. I think Aerial Ace, despite being garbage, definitely would have been enough there. We attempt to sack Serviper unsuccessfully. So we're now forced to burn the final shield. Please tell me this isn't finally an Aerial Ace. The opponent continues to go straight Water Pulse. Are they single move? Uh-oh, Trainer. You've got Ferrothorn or Ferrothorn or whatever the Pokemon company are trying to get me to call it. We're going to stick with Ferrothorn. And Ferrothorn is not going to appreciate Salazzle's work. One Incinerate is going to be enough to knock out with the 2-stage lower defense. And we're going to pick up that dub. GG's and thanks for playing. Huge shout out to the very appropriately named Reptilian, bringing us a triple reptile, triple poison theme team in the Open Great League. That was a lot of fun. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. A link to battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.